Hello fam, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you have seen my other video, you might have noticed a little bit of a change. So the skills you'll learn during quarantine. Now, I've been wanting to make this video for probably over 2 weeks now. So the only reason why I have not made this video is two big reasons. Number one, so as you can tell from the title, this video is coming from a subscriber. And I'm just gonna burst your bubble now. I am still a subscriber. And with this, I understand that my point of view is quite different from the mass tea that went on about 2 weeks ago. And with that, this video isn't saying that I agree with everything that has been said. Ho ho. Definitely not. But I do have different opinions from a lot of the YouTubers who have spoken about this topic. And because that's what I've noticed. That's the majority of the feedback. It's either been people who hate Shallon with a passion, or it would be the classic, almost like a classic walk away story from Shallon Lester. So with that, I was like, oof, do I really want to post such a controversial video on my YouTube channel so early on when I have YouTuber dreams? But at the same time, in that same light, I realized I don't have any subscribers anyway, except for one, and is there really anything for me to lose? So with that, fuck it, whatever happens, happens. Now, the second reason why I have only posted this video now is because USPS decided to take its sweet, sweet time delivering my memory card reader. And actually, I'm very thankful for that, because in that time, I was able to really just observe and really take in all of the feedback that was coming from the other side. And something I think more people should do. But in that, yeah, I've realized a lot. So I will make this clear, this is not a stan video for Shallon Lester, all right? Especially after watching D'Angelo's second video, like, she ain't Jesus, that's for sure. So yeah, this is not that kind of video, but mainly this video is gonna be about what I agree with what the people have had to say. It's also what I disagree with, and also it's kind of my own little analysis of Shallon's profile as a subscriber and as someone who has graduated with a degree in behavioral science, as to why she has, as an explanation as to why she has said some of the things that she has said, from my understanding of her personality. This video will also have some of my own personal recommendations or things that I think that Shallon should do moving forward. Now, I do have my own little notesy notes on the bottom, so just to make sure I'm keeping on track. Okay, so with all of that being said, let's start with the heavy hitters. The points brought up that I, even as a fan, I mean, unless I'm gonna be blind and deaf, I can't defend. And I don't think anyone logically can really defend if you have like a moral compass. So, fun thing, I will do this in a very Shallon way. So if you have been watching all the tea, you will get what I mean. So, the tweets about Justin Bieber, not great. Her video on how to cheat, not great. So when I was like skimming through her content, when I saw that video, I was so surprised she would even make a video like that. And this was when I was first starting to get to know her. I was so shocked that someone would even post a content like that. I immediately, like, just so you know, I clicked on that video, immediately disliked it. So anyway, her diagnosing people, not great. Her definite wrong explanation of how rehab works, not great. The suicide statements regarding Pete Davidson, not great. What she said about Selena's fans being responsible, not great. The lies and her saying that D'Angelo doxed her, not great. And also, this is kind of what opened my eyes to as well, because I didn't want to believe she was lying or she had ever lied, but after watching the second video of Deandra, like I said, just being open to all this feedback coming in, the receipts, lacking of receipts defending her on this, so not great. And lastly, and this is also just like a personal, like, disliking that I have about her. I just don't like how she's kind of mean when it comes to some of the looks of some celebrities, or just, I don't know, that's always been not great for me. So yeah, those major hitters out of the way. I might have forgotten a couple, but those are like the main ones that I can think of. All of those I definitely do not stand by. So those heavy hitters out of the way, let's start from the beginning. So it was about a month ago when I came across Miss Shallon Lester. I had no idea who she was, but I did know Ellen. And I think we all are familiar with all the buzz that was happening around her. And so what had happened, I guess after dipping my toe in a couple Ellen videos, YouTube was like, let's keep her on the site more. Let's give her this video. And so that's how I came across what started it all. How to Spot a Psychopath, Ellen DeGeneres, blah blah. So clicked on it, and honestly it was like the perfect clickbait for someone like me, because like I said a while ago, behavioral science graduate, I love human behavior. It's so fascinating to me. I love learning why we think the way that we do, why do we feel the way that we do, and why do we do what we do. All of that is like my love. But anyway, so I clicked on the video just wanting to learn more, and now, of course, watching the video, we find out that she's not a psychologist, but she was a former editor of Star magazine, which, it's true, she says it a lot. But yeah, I continued watching the video, and I didn't really have an issue with it. For me, it was fine, especially because that list that she was diagnosing Ellen by, which we'll get into that a little bit more later. I was fine with it because she had credited the list from somewhere which I assumed was a credible source. Like, I wasn't anal about it, like, is this really a credible source of information? You know, I think I was like the majority of the people. I just listened to the video. I guess the way that I took in Shallon was just somebody who was just very enthusiastic about the crazies, as she said, and she was just sharing her thoughts and opinions. And I really didn't think much of it. I kind of saw her as a, if you're familiar with the website Thought Catalog, even Bustle and Business Insider, like if you look at all of these big websites, you'll see articles similar to what she titled her video of How to Spot a Psychopath. Like, there's so many of those. And so I just saw her literally like as the embodiment of one of these articles. So yeah, finished the video. Did I think Ellen was a psychopath? No. But I thought it was interesting enough, and again, I didn't think she pulled the list out of her ass, so I thought I did learn a thing or two. Of course, there eventually came the time where I was bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored, and so I decided to go back to Shallon Lester's YouTube page and just kind of briefly scan what her other videos might be about. Especially because she seemed like someone who was an enthusiast of psychology. I'm like, let's see what else this person has videos about. And so I was scanning, and I'm like, I like this. And now, when I say I like this, I couldn't give two shits about the celebrity names I was seeing. I mean, some of them did intrigue me a little bit just because I do like some of them. But the other ones, I'm like, whatever. Justin Bieber and Hailey, nah. But what I did like was the topics that were attached to them. And what I noticed as I was like scanning through her videos was, yeah, there were a lot of topics that piqued my interest. Everything from relationship advice, life advice, things talking about how to deal with the fuckboys, because we all have our relationship woes this day and age. You know you have them. And so all of this pretty much interested me, and I was also thinking, you know, she probably will add a splash of psychology here and there. So I fell down the Shallon Lester rabbit hole. Now, coming out of the Shallon rabbit hole, I found myself a fan. I really liked her style. It's true, she's entertaining and she gives great advice. I just loved her style of it being her own experiences in life, because, well, she is older and has gone through a lot of things. And I loved, again, behavioral science graduate, I love this little bits of psychology she added here and there. I thought every video that I watched of hers, I felt like, now I didn't, since I knew she wasn't a psychologist, I mean, I didn't take all of her word as gospel, but I did find myself always learning a little bit every time I watched a video. And now, I will say there were times as I was watching her videos when she would say something mean, or she would, you know, say that her little birds told her something, and when she would say some statements, I was thinking to myself, like, is this slander? But I continued watching, and again, I didn't really care about the celebrity she was talking about. For all I care, they could have just been fictional characters in books. And I get it, the point is they're not, but we'll talk about that later. But for me, with my own personal interests, I just was there for the advice. And as I watched more and more of her content, if I didn't mention, I watched over 10 videos at this point, under 20, and I had listened to a little bit of her audio as well, because she also has a podcast. I guess my favorite thing about Shallon Lester, she's all about taking radical responsibility over our lives. It doesn't matter what is happening to us, where we are, it's all about making your life the best with what you have and where you are. And I really, really like that message of hers. It was a message that I was already living out in my own life, but it was really nice to see that she was all about that as well. And I also really came to like her term warm-blooded. Maybe you've heard of it here and there. And basically what that means is her telling women that you don't need to be validated by the world. You don't need the world to love you, to give you that sense of confidence, to confirm your existence. You don't need the world to make you feel valid, because you already have all of that self-love inside yourself, that you don't need to seek it from the outside. And I know she gets a lot of hate, and I understand why, but I think that's like such an empowering message that she says in her videos. And another thing that I really liked about her is she gives tough love. Like, if you think she's so critical of the fuckboys, like, she's also equally as critical with love towards her fans. Like, she serves the dish cold. Her fans will often ask her a question, and she asks you, okay, I get it about the fuckboy, but what are you doing to promote that? What is your part in this situation? Because, again, she's all about taking radical accountability, responsibility for your life. And I really appreciate that. I know there are a lot of people who don't want to be called out on their shit, because it's true. It's true that it is easier a lot of the times, you know, it is easier to just blame the world, and the last person we ever point the finger to is ourselves. How she challenges her viewers to, yes, not tolerate shit, but at the same time hold yourself to that same standard. What can I do better? What am I maybe doing wrong? Am I throwing myself a pity party right now? Like, get up and take better action, more responsibility for your life. And I think those two messages about being warm-blooded, holding yourself to a standard where you're not boo-hooing yourself, I think that those are both really great messages that she constantly feeds back to her fans. And with that, I actually wanted to share a couple snippets of her really just hammering in that message, just her in her best light, because I feel like, again, she's not Jesus, so, you know, those clips that were taken of her, those are true too, but I also think that nobody is perfect, and, you know, we all, as one YouTuber has said, she isn't a bad person, and All of us probably have some skeletons in our closet that we wouldn't be too proud of if they were pulled out. So anyway, so here are some clips that I think should be shared as well. If we see the bad of her, I think it's also proper that we see the best in her as well.
You're gonna survive, girl. It's not gonna break you. It might hurt for a little while, but it's not gonna break you. One thing I think you should do, this is an exercise my therapist gave me, and I love it. Make a list of all the things that have not broken you. Every obstacle, from the big to the small, a coworker you hate, to a book you publish, to a toxic family member you set up boundaries with, everything. Write them all down and then look at this and ask yourself, if you were looking at this list, if someone else handed you this list and it was about their life, would you look at this person and say, I don't think you should date. You seem kind of weak. No, you'd say the opposite. You'd be like, girl, you can handle anything. You're going to be fine. And look how smart you are. Look at how much experience you have in so many other categories of your life. You're wise, you're intuitive, you're a good judge of character. Get out there. I was thinking the other day, I'm going to be going to Bali soon, and I'm like really stressed about being in a swimsuit. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, you know what? And in my mind, like making these micro calculations, like I know that I could post a picture on my IG and all my fans and all my supporters would be like, you look great. I'd be like, yeah, maybe I'll just do that. You know, they'll make me feel good. And I'm like, Shallon, you need to feel good on your own. It needs to come from in here, not from the Twitter verse and Instagram. You need to build that on your own, okay? And if you want to share a bikini picture, share a bikini picture. Who cares? But like, not for the purpose of fixing myself.
Things changed for me when I changed. And this, listen to me, this is the gift and the curse. You can't change the whole wide world. You can only change yourself. And when I look back on my dating history and it was like, why did this same pattern keep repeating again and again? Gee, I don't know. Who was the common denominator there? It was me, obviously. And I didn't want to accept that because I didn't want to accept that I was wrong. It was way easier to what? Play the victim, right? I wanted to play the victim in my own life. I wanted to go to brunch and bitch about how guys suck. I mean, they do, obviously, but like I sucked too. And so this, like I said, was armor.
It broke up because it was broken. And maybe you were the broken part. Maybe you were the broken part. Okay, that's actually great, because then you can be in control of how that goes. And you can sit down and be like, here's how I was broken. Here's what I have been doing to fix it. And here is how our relationship is going to be different going forward there. He gets a happy ending, and I'm still here in the shit cleaning up the mess he made. He didn't make that mess, you made that mess. I know. But when you're the mess maker, that means you get to be the mess cleaner upper. Get to be. You have to be. But it is a good thing, because that means you control your life. You're actually not a chronic victim of fuckboys. You might be a chronic victim of yourself. And it's easier to control yourself and to know yourself and to change yourself than it is a fuckboy. You will never, ever change them. So you got to look inward and be like, what perpetuated this situation? What perpetuated this cycle? What about him was scratching a psychological itch? And it's not super fun work, but we talk about this splinter all the time. If you can pull out that psychological splinter, you feel better. And why you seem to have decided you are a passenger in this out of control car. The car's swerving. I will give you that. But you still have some control over your life, right? You decided to order those 3 double vodka sodas. You decided to get out your phone and text your ex-boyfriend. I'm not saying the decision not to do that would have been easy, but it was still a decision. And when you choose a behavior, you choose the consequences.
Alright, so I'm actually going to be ending the video there. I know in the beginning I said that I was going to do a deep dive on Shallon and also the things that I disagree with, but I realized upon importing all of my footage that the video was like an hour long, so I'm not going to post a 1-hour video. Instead, I will most likely be dropping that part 2 within the week. Let me know if you want to hear where it gets more serious in the feedback, but hopefully you also liked this video as well. I guess this is the lighter part of my whole video. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. If you watch the entire video, thank you. And I think that's again what more people should do when it comes to different opinions. But yeah, so let me know if you liked the video. Oh god, the lighting, help me. Okay, so yeah, let me know if you didn't agree. Well, I'm sure you'll let me know. Anyway, hope to catch you in my next video. Bye.